and changing their expiry date. Given this, does it still think there is nothing to investigate about the Farmally deals?
Well, una-una po, ang issue na binato nila sa Farmally ay overprice. Meron na ba hong nahanap na overprice sa face shield, sa PPE? Wala. Kasi nakita nga natin, mas mababa pa nga yung presyo na binili natin para sa PPE, 1,716, kaysa doon sa binili ng nakalipas sa administrasyon. Pagdating naman sa face mask, meron bang overprice? Wala rin. Kasi ito po ay sakop ng suggested retail price na linabas mismo ng Department of Trade and Industry noong mga panahon na yon. Meron bang paglabag sa batas dahil hindi nasunod ang 9184? Wala. Kasi Kongreso ang nag-authorize sa Presidente na bumili ng mga kinakailangan natin sa panahon ng pandemya sa lalong mabilis na panahon in the most expeditious manner. So sang-ayon po sa batas yung ginawa ng PSDBM at bagamat hindi po required, kumuha pa nga sila ng mga price quotes. Hindi lang sila naniwala sa isang supplier. So yan po yung issue. Ngayon, lumalabas po itong mga bagong issue nito. No? Ang tanong po, tatayo ba ho yung ganyang testimonya? Tingnan po natin. Kinakailangan po kasi yan, mas-substantiate. Alam niyo po kasi, nung ako'y nagte-training pa no, ng mga abogado, sinasabi ko, hanggat maaari, dapat physical evidence ang ating ibigay sa hukuman kasi kung testimonya lang, talk is cheap. Pwedeng mabili, o pwedeng matakot. So hanapan pa po natin ng substantiated evidence. No? Hindi lang po yung testimonya ng isang tao. Pangalawa po, ang sabi naman po ng DOH, kahit kailan pa yan na manufacture, bago po nila tinanggap, in-inspection po nila yan. At sinigurado nila na lahat ng tinanggap nilang mga kasama doon sa binili nating PPE at kasama yung face shield dito sa binili nating PPE ay pursuant to the standard of the WHO.
Thank you, Secretary. Ang susunod pong tanong niya, ano daw pong directive, if any, has the President given regarding Farmally's actions?
Sa ngayon po, titignan natin kung talaga may katotohanan niyang alteration ng manufacturing date at kung merong batas na nalabag. Pero uulitin ko po, kung nagkaroon ng danyo sa gobyerno, ang sabi po ng DOH at DOH po ang tumanggap ng delivery, in-inspection po nila yung mga face shields na yan bago nila tinanggap.
Opo. Ang third question niya, how does the palace respond to statements that this could not have happened without the help of someone in power?
Absolutely bereft of merit. Salitang pang-eleksyon. Desperado manalo.
Opo, pahabol lang po kay Secretary Lopez from PTV. Ano daw po ang status ng GYM sa Secretary Lopez?
Well, ang GYM sa ngayon, pinopropose po natin sa IATF at pinag-aaralan ngayon ng Technical Working Group. Ang dahilan naman po dito, nag-appeal itong sector na to dahil baka raw sila ay hindi na konsidera as an essential activity at nung ni-review naman po namin at least from our end sa DTI at yung ibang agencies nakikita natin yung rationale, yung pagkadahilan at justification na ang gym nga naman ay pampalakas ng immunity dahil sa exercise will boost immunity ng ating mga kababayan against COVID. At tulad ng pag-encourage natin sa outdoor exercise, naniniwala po kami dahil sa mga testimonya rin ng mga ibang tuloy-tuloy na nag-exercise na talagang tumataas ang kanilang immunity level based on mga indicators, mga test nila. Again, isa pong paalala ito na as a level 3 allowed po yan. Ang pinag-uusapan na lang natin dito ay sa level 4 ay kung maisama siya sa isa sa parang dine-in at personal care services na ilimitahan ang operation nito sa level 4 para lang make continuity ang ating mga kababayan sa mga activities na masasabing hindi naman mapanganib at na mapapanatili ang safety. For example, kung ilimit ang indoor capacity nito sa gym sa level 4, i-allow lang yung maybe 20%, tulad ng pinopost natin last week, i-allow lang ang fully vaccinated para lamang dito sa level 4 no na indoor activity ng gym. At alam naman po natin pagka sa gym pwedeng no removal of mask at all times, non-contact, may physical distancing na mga 4 meters apart at any given point in time at ilimit lang yung number ng members kung dati ay 100 ang allowed, let's say sa isang lugar na 400 square meters na gym, i-limit dun sa 20% nun. So kung 20 people lang, imbis na 100. So may mga, at saka strengthen yung ventilation. May isang purifier, air purifier sa bawat 50 square meter, buksan ng window, buksan ng ang pintuan para may hangin. Things like this can also be done para lang mapanatiling safe yung lugar na yon. So kaya naniniwala kami na may solusyon naman pagdating sa indoor. Of course, sinasabi rin natin dito sa sector na to, as much as possible, mag-develop kayo ng outdoor activity na pang-exercise na gym. No? So, but again, bottom line po dito, this is essential and it will boost immunity. At yung virus is here to stay. So we should manage how to function in a very safe manner and save small businesses and jobs. At isa pa, matagal na po silang sarado. This is, I think, even safer than yung dine-in and personal care services kasi nga walang tanggalan ng mask, mas malalayo, 4 meters apart, at saka individual activity po ito. So the idea lang po is to allow this at alert level 4 para may continuity ang safer business operations. Ang i-adjust lang natin operating capacity depende sa alert level para hindi po sila open, close sa iba-ibang alert level. Thank you. Thank you po.
Secretary Lopez, personal ko kayong suportado rito, no? Ako po ay
Yes.
diabetiko, ako po ay may heart condition. Ever since sarado po ang gym, hindi na pong naging normal ang aking blood sugar. It is now always in excess of 200. Dahil noong mga panahon pong bukas ang gym, 5 times a week po ako, doon ko lang po napapanatiling normal ang aking blood sugar. So nakikiusap po tayo sa mga opisyales, mga kasama natin sa IATF. Essential po talaga ang gym, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga meron ng karamdaman gaya ng diabetes. Alam ko po, sasabihin nila, pwede ka namang mag-exercise, no? Ang problema po, hindi man po pwede tumakbo dahil masyadong malaki, no? Masama po sa ankles, no? At so talagang hindi rin naman po pwede mag-swimming din. Bawal din po ang swimming, no? So talagang mukhang marami po sa amin na meron ng karamdaman. Talagang absolutely indispensable po ang gym.
Spokes actually Spokes, madagdag ko lang si Chairman Abalos, kasama ko sa nag-inspect dito. Sinasabi niya na typically yung immunity level ng mga ibang kasama natin ay below 200. Pero siya po na nag-exercise sa kanyang sariling gym ay 1,000 ang kanyang immunity level. So napakataas ng kanyang immunity level dahil nga daw po sa exercise. So yun lang po. That, I think we really should consider this activity na essential at safe pa din.
Binigyan niyo ako ng idea, makikigym ako sa personal gym ni Chairman Abalos. Yes, next question please.
Thank you. Secretary Roque, susunod po magtatanong ay si Mela Les Moras via Zoom ng PTV.
Go ahead, Mela.
Hi, good afternoon, Secretary Roque, Secretary Lopez at kay Dr. De Guzman. Secretary Roque, unahin ko lang po, just follow-up question dun nga sa usapang gym. Kailan po kaya makakapagdesisyon ng IATF dito nga sa kung isasama na rin sa bubuksan ang gym sa alert level 4 at kailan din po ilalabas yung guidelines para naman sa face shield?
Well, ang tingin ko po, no, doon sa huling pagpupulong ng IATF, hinayaan mo nang matapos ang pilot hanggang 30 ng Setyembre, no? At matapos ang 30 ay pag-aaralan muli, no? Pagdating naman po doon sa face shields, alam ko po DILG maglalabas, no? Pero ang advice ko sa taong bayan, literal lang naman po yung sinabi ni Presidente. Yung closed, wag na nating isipin yon kasi basta closed, meron talagang face shield. So yung dalawang sina lang ang ating dapat pagtuunan ng pansin. Crowded ba siya at meron bang close contact? So anyway, baka may dadagdag si Secretary Lopez.
Ay, opo. Actually, itong pinag-uusapan sa gym will not change ngayon hanggang October 1, hanggang September 30. Dahil pilot test, ayaw natin baguhin yung mga patakaran. If ever po, ito yung gagawin po natin after September 30, which means October 1 onwards. Kung ito ay matapos ang pag-aaral ng Technical Working Group at ng industriya na magpe-present sa Technical Working Group.
Opo. And for my second question, for Malacanang, DOH, and DTI po, kasi yun nga, malapit na mag-October. For DOH, kailan kaya malalaman yung bagong magiging alert level sa NCR? At sa side po ng Malacanang at DTI, ano po kaya yung isinusulong nyo na bagong maging alert level sa NCR?
Well, lilinawin ko lang bago sumagot ang DOH. No? Ang patakaran ngayon, ng alert level, DOH na magde-determine. Hindi na po yan IATF. No? Bagamat nagkaroon nga ng rekomendasyon ng Metro Manila Council na personal kung sinusuportahan, pero yan po ay magiging decision pa rin ng DOH. Perhaps si Dr. De Guzman?
Thank you po, Spokesperson. Sa tulad ng nabanggit ko nga po, kung gagamitin natin yung metrics na we used in assessing NCR initially, for this week, we remain to be under alert level 4. But as mentioned po by our two secretaries, we are looking into reviewing these metrics and indicators, not just with the technical working group, but with our sub-technical working group on data analytics. And this will be presented po to the IETF in its next meeting.
Pero may tentative po kaya, Dr. De Guzman, kung kailan aasahan ng taong bayan yung magiging bagong alert level system sa NCR?
Sa ngayon, ang ating namang alert level ay hanggang September 30. So on October 1, there will be an announcement kung tayo ba ay maiiwan sa alert level 4 or tayo ba ay makakapag-de-escalate na po to alert level 4.
Opo. And panghuli na lamang po, Secretary Roque, may talk to the people po ba si Pangulong Duterte mamaya at ano-ano po kaya yung agenda kung sakali?
Meron pong talk to the people. At sigurado po na bukod sa COVID, magsasalita muli si Presidente tungkol sa mga issue na lumalabas sa Senado. Importante kasi yan na ang Presidente mismong sumagot dun sa mga paratang ng mga senador. Hindi po masama ito because we are co-equal branches of government. Nagkakaroon lang ng diskurso at debate sa panig ng dalawang independenteng sangay ng ating gobyerno.
Okay, thank you so much po, Secretary Roque, at sa ating mga panauhin.
Maraming salamat, Mela. Balik tayo kay Yusek Roque.
Thank you, Secretary Roque. Tanong mula kay Yellow ng CCTV. Foreign Affairs Secretary Locsin stated daw po on 21st September that the Philippines welcomes AUKUS and the mechanism is beneficial to the region, a view that contrasts sharply with the stance of other ASEAN countries such as Indonesia and Malaysia, which fear that AUKUS could lead to a major arms race in the region. Do you think Secretary Locsin's statement is a deviation from the peaceful and independent foreign policy of President Duterte and detrimental to the ASEAN centrality in the region?
Well, Yellow, because I'm still on facility quarantine, I have not had the occasion to discuss this with the President. My rule of thumb is any very important issue of foreign policy, I clear first with the President. So I promise you within the day, I will talk to the President about this new initiative. And but preliminarily, I can say that the President is the chief executor of our laws, and the Constitution of the Philippines provides for a nuclear-free Philippines. And we're also party to the ASEAN Bangkok Accord, providing for a nuclear-free Southeast Asia. So I would say that the immediate concern of the Philippines is to ensure that its violation and its treaty providing for nuclear-free Southeast Asia will not be violated because of this accord. But I will verify with the President his thoughts on this matter tonight.
Opo. Sunod na tanong, si Creseline Catarong ng SMNI News. Patuloy daw po ang paghikayat ni dating Senator Trillanes kay Vice President Robredo na tumakbong presidente. Pero kapag hindi raw po tutuloy sa pagsabak sa 2022 presidential race, may mensahe po si Trillanes, and I quote, para sa mga maka-oposisyon, tuloy ang pagtulak natin kay VP Leni to run for president. Kung tumuloy siya, ipanalo natin siya. Pero kung hindi pa rin siya makakapagdesisyon by 12 noon of October 8, tuloy na po ako ng pagka-presidente. Di natin hahayaang matalo ang tunay na oposisyon nang di man lang lumaban. End quote. Ano daw po mensahe ng Malacanang sa dating senador?
Wala po. Bakit naman ako magme-mensahe sa kanya? Di bahala siya sa buhay niya. Gawin ang gusto niya. Karapatan naman niya yung tumakbo. Good luck.
Mula po kay Prince Goles ng Abante, Is President aware of Davao artist Bree Johnson's death? Her mother said she fears about the country's justice system because the Ompings are a powerful family.
Yes, and he has instructed the criminal justice system of the country to accord the victims justice. Pero kinakailangan po, hayaan natin na magpatuloy ang investigasyon para malaman natin kung ano talagang nangyari.
Thank you, Secretary Roque. Susunod na magtatanong via Zoom si Pia Ranyada ng Rappler.
Go ahead, Pia.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Just first on the Pharmaly controversy. So, sir, like you mentioned, diba, yung executive, Pharmaly executive statement, you said earlier that it requires more substantiation. So, doesn't this in itself precisely merit an investigation by the executive department? Will you investigate this on your own?
We will look into the matter, no? But what is important is yung sinabi nga po ni Yusek Vergere, no? Na kahit kailan pa na-manufacture yan, ininspekta yan ng DOH and it was accepted because it was pursuant to standards set by the WHO.
When you say look into the matter, this is mean the Department of Justice will make its own investigation?
We leave that to the Department of Justice to decide.
So what do you mean when you said we will look into the matter?
I'm sure that the DOH will look into the allegation and to see if it is in fact verified, no? Because right now it came from one source and we do not know under what circumstance the source may have said this, no? So let's find out. Sabi ko nga po, no, even as a lawyer, as a legal educator, physical evidence matters.
And sir, earlier you said na in-inspect naman to ng DOH, but yun nga yung allegation ng Pharmaly executive, pinalitan yung sticker. So even if in-inspect, the sticker itself was a deceptive move. And would there have been a way for them to ensure that even if the sticker says made in 2021, it was actually made in 2020?
Pia, so far, may isang testimonya na ganyan. Hindi pa siya eyewitness, no? So hindi ko alam kung ano yung bisa, yung bigat ng sinabi dahil hindi naman siya yung nagpalit ng petsa, no? So hindi ko nga alam kung paano niya nalaman yan. Ang sinabi lang naman ng DOH, kahit kailan pa na-manufacture yan, in-inspect nila yan at it's pursuant to the standard na inaasahan nila, no? So kumbaga, if you're saying kung nadanyos ang gobyerno, ang sabi ng DOH, hindi. But as to whether or not there was tampering, let's look at the evidence. Kaya nga may kapangyarihan ng Senado rin na mag-imbestiga. Tingnan natin kung ano pang lalabas na ebidensya beyond the allegation of one person kasi I can assure you, whether be it in the court of law or the court of public opinion, yung isang tao na hindi naman personally ginawa yun, mahirap naman po na yun lang ang paniniwalaan natin bilang katotohanan.
Well, actually, there were two witnesses, no? Well, two people who were making that allegation. The worker na parang naka-disguise siya, and then si Ms. Mago nga. But when you said that the DOH would investigate, are you saying that they've already opened formally an investigation? What will be the scope of this investigation? How long will this investigation take? Who will be leading it?
Please ask the DOH.
Dr. Althea, meron po ba kayong input doon sa tanong?
I'm sorry, Pia, I have no further inputs as of now, no? But pretty sure I'll assure you I'll refer this to our spokesperson and to the principals po natin.
Okay, and then last question for Secretary Roque. Sir, before you said that there was no issue naman to discuss with Pharmaly kasi na-deliver naman lahat ng supplies. But as an internal audit by DBM showed, actually maraming delays yung Pharmaly. They weren't able to provide a lot of the supplies on time, and in fact, damages were already charged against it. So doesn't this also merit any action from the executive branch aside from a probe that you're saying will happen? Like, will you at least maybe pause the orders from Pharmaly given this?
I do not know kung tama yung sinabi mo, no? I do not have any personal knowledge na may ganyang sinabi ang DBM na nalilate yung Pharmaly, no? In fact, ang buong kontrata nga, hindi sila mababayaran unless it is delivered, accepted by PSDBM, no? So hindi ko po alam kung ano yung katotohanan ng sinabi mong na nagkaroon ng delays kasi nga time is also of the essence. Kaya nga po madalian silang bumili ng kontrata ng mga supplies nito dahil importanteng ma-deliver din kaagad at hindi ko po sigurado kung talagang meron ng delay. Meron naman kasi tinatawag na major delay, meron naman de minimis delay, no? So hindi ko po alam kung anong tinutukoy niya.
And then my last question is for Dr. Althea. Ma'am, yung health utilization rate ng Metro Manila now, you're saying it's at critical level, diba, 76%. So at what utilization rate will trigger alert level 3 for NCR?
Sa ngayon, hindi siya critical, no? So kung natatandaan natin yung dating metrics, kailangan umabot tayo sa 85% para maging critical level ng utilization. High risk lamang tayo. Doon sa ating metrics, ideally, no, mapababa pa sana natin to moderate risk. Pero tulad nga ng nabanggit ko kanina, tayo ay under a pilot implementation. So itong metrics na nababanggit ko din ay tuloy-tuloy nating pag-aaralan kung ito rin ba yung gagamitin natin na tuloy-tuloy, hindi lamang para sa NCR, but for the rest of the countries, or tayo ba ay magdadagdag or mag-revise ng metrics. At ito ay base doon sa maoobserbahan natin na implementation nitong pilot sa NCR.
So typically in the usual parameters, moderate risk would mean how much percentage of healthcare utilization rate?
Sa ngayon, ang moderate risk is under 70%.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pia. Balik tayo kay Yusek Roque.
Yes, thank you, Secretary Roque. From Joseph Morong ng GMA News, do you think the Senate investigation will lead to President Duterte? If not, why?
Absolutely not. Wala naman po silang ebidensyang nakukuha na may overprice. Sinabi na ng COA, walang overprice. So anong maililink kay Presidente? Ingay lang po.
Second question po niya, do you think the facts so far uncovered in the Senate warrant filing of criminal charges?
Well, as far as overprice is concerned, wala po tayong nakikita dyan. Meron silang sinasabi na tampering of manufacturing date. Tignan po natin kung merong katotohanan yan. At kung mapapatunayan naman yan, the President will not tolerate that kung talagang nangyari po yan.
Question from Ace Romero ng Philippine Star. Secretary Roque, New York is considering hiring medical workers from the Philippines and other countries to replace unvaccinated staff at hospitals and nursing homes who will not follow the state's requirement for health workers to get vaccinated. What is your take on this? Will the government allow the deployment of more workers given that some may consider this option due to concerns about the delayed release of their benefits?
Well, unang-una po, no? Dahil ito po ay magdudulot ng mas maraming trabaho para sa ating mga kababayan under better conditions, dahil hindi naman natin makakaila, no, na mas mataas talaga ang sahod ng mga nurses sa Estados Unidos, we are happy for those na makakakuha po ng trabaho sa Amerika. Pero at the same time, babalansehin po natin yan dahil titignan natin kung nagkukulang naman tayo ng nurses dito sa Pilipinas. Dahil meron pa rin tayong kapangyarihan po, ang ehekutibo, na pigilan ang paglabas ng ating mga nurses gaya ng ginawa natin nung nakaraan na nagkaroon po tayo ng cap. Pero kung maalala nyo, linif din po natin yung cap at hinayaan natin na mas maraming nurses at makapunta sa Germany kung hindi po ako nagkakamali. So ganun po yung sitwasyon. Natutuwa po kami sa mga pagkakataon na ibinibigay sa ating mga kababayan, pero at the same time, titignan naman po natin na baka naman tayong magkulang. Pero sa tingin ko, hindi naman po. Because napakadami po mga bagong pasang mga nurses ngayon. So baka meron po talagang mga pagkakataon.
Second question po ni Ace Romero, what is the likelihood of Metro Manila being downgraded to level 3 and why? Similar question po ni Jacob Lazaro ng Signal.
Already answered po, no? Ni Dr. De Guzman. No? Sa ngayon po, wala pang datos na nagpapakita na po pwedeng bumaba, pero po pwede naman po ito magbago.
From Red Mendoza ng Manila Times, significant po ba ang decrease sa bilang ng mga tinetest natin kaya hindi pa natin masabi ang pagbaba ng kaso? Bakit iba ang metrics ng DOH sa ginagamit ng OCTA na nagsasabing patuloy na ang pagbaba ng kaso?
Si Dr. De Guzman, I think, is in a better position to answer that. Doc?
Thank you, Spokes. No? So tulad ng nabanggit ko, para po sa National Capital Region, ang pagbaba ay umabot sa almost 37,000 in the last week. And we want to be able to assess why the numbers or the lab outputs went down. Yung ikalawang tanong, ako po personally, no, we shouldn't have to dictate, no, what metrics institutions should use. No, if another research body or another institution is using different metrics from what the Department of Health is using, then I don't think there's a problem with that. No? But from the Department of Health, we'd like to be able to relay how we are analyzing and interpreting our data and what metrics and indicators that we are using.
Susunod pong tanong niya, may mga testing backlogs pa rin po ba tayo? Gaano karami ang backlogs na ito at makakaapekto rin po ba ito sa bilang ng mga kaso o sa mga susunod na araw?
Spokes, if I may, no, we've also looked into that and we have seen a very small amount po no, ng testing backlogs natin, parang 10 lamang po. So that did not definitely account for the decline in our laboratory outputs.
Opo. For Doc Alitea pa rin po from Jacob Lazaro ng Signal TV, can we get the DOH comment on MMDA's hope to downgrade the alert level of NCR to level 3 by September 30 due to their 0.94 reproduction rate and negative 21-week growth rate according to Okta?
Tulad nga po na nabanggit natin, sa ngayon, sa metrics na ginagamit natin, tayo ay nananatili sa alert level 4. No? Ikalawa, yung po mga nabanggit na metrics ay medyo kaiba doon sa ginamit nating metrics at hindi po siya dapat gawing basihan ng publiko or ng media, no? Para masabing ibaba na tayo sa alert level 3. At yung pinakahuli, tulad nga na nasabi ng ating spokesperson, ito naman po ay pinag-aaralan pa natin at bago po matapos ng September 30 or bago po mag-October 1, tayo po ay magbibigay ng announcement. Ano po ba ang alert level para sa NCR?
Opo. From Lay Alvis and GMA News, para po kay Doc Alitea, 3 araw nang walang reported deaths. Ano po kaya naging issue sa COVID kaya at kailan po ito maaayos?
O nga po, tayo po ay may mga technical issues po sa COVID kaya. No? Ang isang naging epekto po nito ay hindi po nagkaroon ng oportunidad, no? Ma-access ang COVID kaya at ma-encode, no? Yung mga datos natin sa deaths. Ang COVID kaya po ay yung portion na yon ay naayos natin late afternoon kahapon na, kaya tayo ay nakapag-encode na ng datos ng mga fatalities natin. Kaya so balit yun po ay makikita pa natin sa susunod na araw. No? So with DICT, the Department of Health is working with them closely para nga po yung mga nakikita nating technical issues ay unti-unti po nating masolve at we minimize these kinds of delays in the reporting that we're seeing in the past few days.
Opo, last question po niya, may recommendation na po ba ang all-expert group sa vaccination ng 12 to 17 years old at booster shots?
Sa ngayon po, wala pa tayong final recommendation. The NITAG along with the all-experts group is still continuously discussing po ano po yung ebidensya na meron tayo, anong datos meron din po tayo locally para po tayo po ay meron ng konkretong recommendation after.
Opo. From Ivan Mayrina ng GMA News for Secretary Lopez. Secretary Lopez, if we de-escalate the alert level 3, how many more are expected to go back to work? And as far as industries that will be allowed to reopen or will be allowed to operate at greater capacity, can we quantify that in peso terms?
Okay. Well, i-compare na lang natin dun sa nung tayo ay ECQ, MECQ, which is quite similar dito po sa ating alert level 4. Na ang impact po, naalala ko dun sa mga report nung nakaraan na I think it's something like about 30 billion peso per week impact pagdating po sa wages, lalo na sa NCR, pagka tayo po ay nasa ganitong alert level. And ang kinaiba lang po nito ay may konti nga tayong pagbubukas ngayon dito sa dining and personal care. So it will be in that vicinity. At ibig sabihin, yan ang potential na maibalik sa economy kung tayo ay bumaba sa alert level 3. Tapos pagdating naman dito sa percentage ng businesses that are closed, we should note na tayo ay bumaba ang percentage of companies na sarado mula sa 40% last year na sarado, naging around 4% na lamang yan bago tayo nag-impose uli ng mga ECQ, MECQ. Dahil ng ECQ, MECQ recently, itong August at September, ito po ay umakyat uli. Ngayon, ang ating close dito po sa NCR, mula sa nag-16% po yan, mula sa dating 4%, nag-16%, tumaas. Pero dahil tayo ay bumaba sa MECQ at naging alert level 4, may konting pagbukas, mga 11.7, 12% na lamang ang sarado, coming from 16%. So masabi natin may konting improvement. Ngayon, outside Metro Manila, bumaba na yan sa 4% ang sarado. Pero dahil in different parts of the country, sa iba-ibang probinsya, may mga nag-ECQ rin, MECQ, dahil may pagkalat din ng COVID doon at nagkaroon tayo ng high restriction. Ito pong 4%, tumaas sa 7% ang close. Ito po yung batay sa latest survey that is ongoing, and every day meron kaming update sa mga pumapasok na kasagutan dito sa survey. Ang target ng survey nito ay around 15,000 at ito yung mga preliminary result. So we're now, NCR, we're now around 11.7% close, coming from 16%, at yung the rest of the country outside Metro Manila, ibig sabihin, 7% ang close, coming from 4%.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Lopez. From Kylie Atienza ng Business World, Ibon earlier today said taxing the super rich is an effective way to raise funds for social and economic services while reducing inequality. Substantial revenues can be raised by taxing the country's super rich who can well afford to contribute much more to COVID-19 response and other needs. It said the World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, and the Democratic Senators in the United States have been pushing for a wealth tax. The president, who had launched a tax on some corporate leaders, and once said that he had dismantled the oligarchy without declaring a martial law, had pushed for the passage of a law reducing corporate income tax. May chance po ba under the Duterte administration na magkaroon ng batas taxing the super rich? Was it considered by the president before?
Well, ang ating taxation system po ay yung tinatawag na progressive. Habang mas mayaman ka, mas marami kang buwis na binabayaran. So actually, yung suhestyon na buwisan ng mga mayayaman, nangyayari na po yan.
When he was still daw po a candidate for the presidency, Mr. Duterte presented himself as an anti-elite, promising to go against an order dominated by what he termed oligarchy. Has the president really dismantled the people who called oligarchs? May we get your comments on allegations that the president has installed his own set of oligarchs? Also, your insights on the alleged rise of presidential cronyism under Mr. Duterte's term, with the president's preference for Chinese businessmen and China's state companies.
Sino po yung nagtanong?
Si Kylie Atienza po ng Business World.
Kylie, I'm sorry, I don't think that's really a question. That's more of a conclusion. I don't think you really want an answer. You wanted your question read. Pero ako naman, dahil binasa naman ang tanong, ang oligarkya po, malinaw ang ginawa ni Presidente. Yung mga hindi makatarungang water concession agreements, pinabago niya, at lahat ng Pilipino po ngayon ay nagpapasalamat dahil mas mura na po ang ating tubig. Ang mga naghaharing uri sa larangan ng media ay sa ngayon po, hindi nila nakumbinse ang Kongreso, bigyan sila ng prangkisa, at yan naman po ay nakaapekto doon sa isang pamilya rin, na matagal na pong nagharing uri. Pero yan po ay naging desisyon ng Kongreso. So yan po ang mga katotohanan, Kylie. Anet doon sa sinasabi niyang cronyism, wala naman pong napapatunayan ang overprice in the first place dito sa Pharmaly. So hindi ko po alam kung ano yung cronyism na sinasabi ninyo. At ipakita niyo po sino yung mga cronies. Dahil ngayon po sa Pharmaly, wala nga pong overprice, at kung ayaw niyong maniwala sa mga testigo, paniwalaan natin si COA Chairman, yung COA Chairman mismo, Michael Aguinaldo.
Thank you, Secretary Roque. Yun po muna yung mga tanong natin.
Okay, maraming salamat sa ating mga naging panauhin. Secretary Ramon Lopez, maraming salamat po dahil pareho po tayo ng paninindigan na kinakailangan magkaroon po ng pagkain sa hapagkainan ng ating mga kababayan, at kinakailangan naman bigyan lang sila ng pagkakataon makapaghanap buhay. Pareho po tayo ng advokasya. Maraming salamat din po kay DOH Dr. Alithea de Guzman. Thank you, ma'am. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Yusek Roque, maraming salamat sa ating mga kasama sa Malacanang Press Corps. Sa ngalan po ng inyong Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ito po inyong spokeshari nagsasabi, Pilipinas, lalong-lalo na sa Metro Manila, mukhang there will be a better Christmas. Patuloy pa po tayong magpabakuna. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Ang tagal mo nang nawala.
Kapag tayo agad magpapabakuna, mabilis babalik ang masayang buhay. Para lahat tayo, balik pamilya,
Balik buhay.
balik trabaho, balik buhay.
Balik buhay.
Magbalik buhay, magpabakuna.
Para ipakita ang tunay na estado ng ating bansa. Ilahad ang mga pinakabagong balita at pangyayari sa ating bayan. Ipaalam sa taong bayan ang katotohanan at ipaliwanag ang mga hakbang na ginagawa ng pamahalaan upang manatiling payapa at maiangat ang pamumuhay ng bawat Pilipino. Mula sa Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ito ang Talk to the People.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Mga kababayan kong dito sa ating munting republika na nagsasalubong ng malaking challenges ngayon sa ating bayan. And that is really the COVID. We continue to bring to you the latest updates regarding the government's pandemic response, as well as to shed light to other equally important issues and concerns. Dito tayo muna sa recommendations ng mga eksperto. Let's begin with the use of the face shield, yung nakatakip sa muka. I was informed of the recommendation from the technical advisory group and medical experts that the use of face shield on top of face mask may be limited to high-risk activities under the 3 C's: close, crowded, pati close contact. This will include indoor establishments and transport gatherings, other activities that promote close contact as applicable. Ngayon, sabi ko, takot ako sa lalo na yung pagdating ng COVID-D. I got so scared that I ordered the reimposition of the face shields. Ang akin naman ito, sabi ko, basi gaano kaliit yung contributing factor niya to avoid COVID, okay na lang. What's inconvenience? But I was informed that the technical advisory group on the medical experts on the use of face shields pwede na tanggalin sa labas. No more face shields outside. Ang limitasyon, ang face shields gamitin mo 3 Cs, 3C, S with S, 3 Cs. Closed, whatever facility, hospital, o basta magkadikit-dikit, crowded, ganun rin. It's a crowded room, tapos close lahat, mas delikado, at saka ang close contact kung magkadikit-dikit ang tao. So, dyan applicable pa rin ang face shield. Other than that, I have ordered, kung ganun lang naman, sabi ko, then I will order that we accept the recommendation itong executive department, and just remember yung bawal, yung 3 C's, crowded, closed, and close contact, sarado, crowded kayo, tapos close contact. Yang tatlong na yan, face shield is a must pa rin. Yun ang recommendation. Labas sa tatlong limitations, pwede na hindi na gumamit. Ayun ang recommendation, yun ang masunod. Hindi naman ako expert. Mine was just what you would call a knee reaction nung dumating yung balita na pumapasok mabilis na ang pasok ng COVID dito sa ating bansa. So, I have ordered that the implementation guidelines be issued immediately. Now, dito naman tayo sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearings. After 7 hearings of proving nothing, no ghost deliveries, no illegal procedures, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee continues to conduct their witch hunt. But now only a few senators attended and even fewer were participating in the proceedings. Sabi nila, bakit si Duterte dinidepensa yung Parmalin? I am not defending, sabi ko, you can crumple for all I care. Durugin na ninyo yung mga kumpanya na nandito sa Pilipinas. Wala akong pakialam sa kanila. That is their own risk if they commit illegal things. Pero para sa amin dito sa gobyerno, tapos na, nag-order, na-deliver, according to specifications, di nagbayad tayo. All in accordance with the guideline of the Bayanihan 1. Clearly, even other committee members and other senators do not mention in public are starting to lose interest in its useless political circus. Some of the committee members are trying hard, but again in vain, to find fault in the procurement process to the public of asking for requirements other than that, or the other that were required, in addition to what was required in the bidding process. May I again, for the nth time, pang ilan na hindi ko alam, remind the members of the committee that I specifically told DOH that I do not want a long and tedious bidding process because we needed the supplies immediately. I remember I said, this will be again the nth time that I will remind the public about that cabinet meeting about nung dumating yung COVID, no, yung ano, yung mismong may mga sakit na dito, dumating na in the sense that there will already persons who got sick and some of the hospitals were overflowing with patients that cannot be accommodated. Doon ako na natakot and we were required by Congress then. They knew. Alam mo, Congress knew of its urgency. Alam nila kailangan ang mga supplies, mga medical PPEs and everything to protect the frontliners, mga doktor, mga nurses. Alam nila na gaano kailangan na pabilisan. Why? Look at Bayanihan 2. They practically waived the procedure set forth by the law on public bidding, yung mga procurement laws. Sabi nila, kumuha kayo sa madaling panahon. After that meeting, or after that, after that meeting with I was shown to me by the cabinet, sinabi ko kay Secretary Roque, in front of everybody in the cabinet, sabi ko, buy them immediately. Ako pa ang nagsabi, I do not care about biddings. Forget about biddings. Try to follow the requirements of Bayanihan 1 and act as fast as you can. Sabi ko ulit ko, there is a law somewhere which would excuse you, I was addressing to Secretary Roque, of just waiving what would be really an obstruction to the immediate delivery of the medical supplies. Alam mo, may yung procurement, ayan, tignan ninyo. Regular public bidding procedure. Lowest itong tingnan ko nga, calculated and responsive bid. Ito, kailangan ito is 26 to 136. 26 to 136 days. Dito tayo sa negotiated procurement under the emergency cases. Procurement of goods under RA 9130. Timeliness. Yung pagkailangan, nandyan ka agad. O yan, sa 6.8. There is such a, wala pa yung Bayanihan 1. Dito, you are also required to buy emergency and urgent cases of procurement. Na dito tayo sa Bayanihan 1, ilang araw ang binigay? 2 to 5 days. Most expeditious manner of procurement. Verbal agreement lang dito. Kasi turo-turo lang, kasi nagmamadalian. Yun ang diferensya. Makita ninyo na yung ginamit natin yung Bayanihan 1. Yan utos ng Congress. Hindi yan utos ng presidente o cabinet member. And even if it's there, we have no power to do that. Again, a bidding takes a minimum of 20 days to 100 days. Patay na lahat ang mga doktor pati nurses. Nagbagsakan na nga. I think the first wave was about 17 doctors and nurses died in the early days of the pandemic. Kaya yung panahon na yon, we were being pressured, government, including kayo, Anong ginagawa ninyo? Tinatanong ng tao. That prompted you to pass Bayanihan 1. And it was really an almost floodgate to whatever you want. So as long as you can have the goods on time. Mahirap ng itong iba, ayaw nila tanggalin yung makinig kasi puro paninira ang gusto. Nasabi nyo, bakit si Duterte na why is he defending Parmalin? Sabi ko nga, kumuto na, ano yan? Sa Tagalog, kumot is crumpled. Durugin na ninyo sa kamay ninyo yung mga anong klaseng kontrata, wala akong pakialam. Not only Parmalin but all others. Parte kayo nagbili. Saan ninyo binili yan? Anong ginamit ninyong procedure? Saan ninyo nakuha? Ngayon, magtanong kayo. Bakit ang China pag-order mayroon kaagad? Ito ba'y pinag-usapan? Was there an agreement that there are already stocks to be delivered? Alam mo, kung ayaw ko kasi mag-lecture kasi magmukhang gago kayo. Ito, 120 to 100 days. Bidding na sabi ninyo baka yun ang gusto talaga ng mga senador mangyari. What we followed was the emergency form of procurement stipulated under Bayanihan 1, passed by no less than some of the people questioning it today, which exempted us from these procedures so that we can buy the supplies. Akala ko ba yun ang gusto ninyo? O sa pagdating ng panahon, pinipirito ninyo si Roque. Roque had nothing to do with it. Hindi, ang DOH was not the purchasing entity. It was DBM, PSDBM. Wala siyang kamuang-muang dyan. All that he had to do was to accept the delivery. Ito si Pangilinan, ang sabi niya effectivity date naman ng Bayanihan ang pinagsasabi. Ito sabi ko, ano klaseng senador ka? Mag-debate ng technicalities habang mayroong global pandemic. You know, you do not go into such trivial matters as long as the property, the money of the Republic was well protected, and that the goods that we bought reach to their intended beneficiaries. Yun ang atin. Hindi naman sigilaway na technicalities dyan. Ang nangyari nga, nandyan na sa atin, hinijak pa ng ibang bayan. Alam mo bakit? May pera sila eh. Sabi na ito, nag-order tayo. Pag nandyan na sa kakargo sa warehouse, may magpunta, bilhin niya, offering a much higher price. Hindi natin magawa yan. We're not supposed to do that. We cannot pay in advance. Remember, nakapusas yung kamay natin. In a way, it protects the people's money. I agree. But at the same time, in times of emergency, talagang, were it not for the Bayanihan 1, wala ka. Kayo rin alam ninyo. So, sa ating mga health workers, mga frontliners at mga kababayan, tignan ninyo itong si Pangilinan. Habang nasa krisis tayo,